Looking to take your football game to the next level? It's time to upgrade your gear with Target Football Smart Shin Pads, the ultimate tool for serious players. These smart shin pads do more than just protect. They track 16 key performance metrics, including sprint speed, total distance covered, jump height, kicking power, foot balance, and much more. Every session and every match, your data is captured and synced straight to the Target Football app. No guessing, no vague feedback, just real insights to help you grow. Want to know if you're improving your pace? Need to fine-tune your positioning or stamina? Target Smart Shin Pads give you the answers. They're perfect for players who want to train smarter, compete harder, and stand out on the pitch. Performance isn't just about talent. It's about data, detail, and development. Step up your game with Target Football. Visit www.targetfootball.com and start your performance journey today. This episode is sponsored by Torn Sports, and they are calling all pro footballers as this one's specifically for you. Torn Sports have just dropped their brand new bespoke grip socks, and trust me, these are next level. You can customize everything from your sock heights to initials, even your club logo. And if you're not a fan of grip socks, no problem, they'll remove the grips for you. It's your sock and your style. These are elite quality, and right now they're exclusive just for pros. Comment below if you want in, or give us a message on our socials. The link is in the description.
What's going on, people? Welcome back to Ball Talk. This is one of our insight episodes where we find out everything about the footballing world from these two, Lewis, Ken, Ballers, and me, Noah.
Baller.
Thank you very much. I was waiting for both of you to do it, but that's
Ken.
fine.
Wow.
We speak everything about the footballing world, but today we've got the off-season, as some of us are in the off-season. How's it going? Chilling.
Yeah.
Do you love it?
I'd say it's well needed.
Yeah.
You obviously love the season and playing football. Like, It doesn't take long before you kind of want to get back to it.
Yeah.
But it's well needed because after 10 months, 11 months straight of football,
That's a lot.
You do need a break.
It is a long, man.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks of beers, strip clubs, and you're back in.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Right, as soon as the last whistle goes at the final game, how do you feel/react? And this is if you stay in the league, if you get relegated, promoted. What's the vibe?
The vibe is just like, get me on a fucking beach.
Really?
That's my vibe, yeah. Something like that. I suppose it probably change if you get relegated, because it might be maybe a bit more concern or about your future.
Oh yeah, don't even think about that.
Yeah, like what's happening next year? Should I stay? Am I dropping down a league? Do I need to move?
Are you doing that straight away? Does that go through your head?
It will be in your head. Maybe not like as soon as the whistle goes, it's in your head. But if you know you're getting relegated, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
And then the off season is where you get the things in work. But no, for me, it's like as soon as the last whistle goes, even before that, it's sort of like holiday mode. And just you got to think about it. Like Ken said, football is so strict, like regimented, telling you where to go hour by hour. And it's a lot of players in the top level, they don't even get days off at times. So you've had 10 months of that where you're getting told what to do and everyone's looking after you really intensely. And then it's like, right, you're off. And it's like there's no rules, no one's putting like a leash on you or anything.
Like a toddler off the leash.
Yeah, it's like the last day of school.
Yeah.
You know, like your last day of like
that
your
feeling.
whole school, like year 13 or whatever it was. And it's like, right, we're just going to go mental today.
Yeah.
That's what end of season's like.
We're going to go mental.
You know, when you're in the school and you're like setting off like egg bombs and flares and shit like that. That's basically what football is.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Ken,
Yeah.
sadly, St Albans just been relegated. The feeling straight after, is it like, right, I'm going to rest now? Is it, oh God, panic stations? Is it, I'm really sad, I need to go and do something fun? What's the feeling around the club?
It's okay, the feeling around the club's obviously devastation about being relegated.
Yeah.
Then different players will feel differently about what that means. So, because when you talk about the worries of next season and all of that, like it will affect different players differently depending on the season they've had.
So how are you feeling now?
Still, like no one enjoys like this relegation. You still look back and say, "Oh, that was not ideal." But obviously, it's been a week and a half now, so I'm relaxing at the minute. Like I'm embracing the time off. You get to do things that you don't usually do. You get to like your body needs a physical rest as well. I think that's probably the biggest thing, and your mind. Like you're at it every day. So having like a couple of days where you can just like chill and switch off definitely helps. So
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's start of May now. We've got at least a month and a half.
Yeah, nice.
Until like
That must feel great.
pre-seasons will start. So yeah, like there's no, at this present time, I'm not like thinking about next season yet, really.
That makes sense. So your last game was on a Saturday?
Yeah.
When was your first dirty cheat meal? And did you go...
This guy loves food.
Yeah, I'm interested. And did you go like a few days of, I'm not running, I'm not going to the gym, I'm literally going to pick my feet up and relax?
First cheat meal was on the trip home from Truro.
What'd you get?
At Burger King.
Yeah.
Nice.
What was the next? The first.
Like gym, do you now go, I'm not going to the gym for a week?
So I've done that before, where I've like spent 2 weeks doing absolutely nothing and eating whatever I've wanted, and I didn't like doing that because when I came back, it just gave me, like when I decided to start my off-season prep, it just gave me a bit more to do than I would have wanted to do. Like I had to strip weight before anything.
Yeah.
And that was
you
like
must have eaten well.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't.
Ken's never been out of shape in his life.
It wouldn't have been noticeable to anyone, but like.
Oh no, I've only got a
to
6-pack
get to
rather than
like-
an 8-pack.
yeah.
Oh god.
To get to like your peak condition. I
Yeah,
suppose,
you know you're off. So since then, like I've treated the off season as like a pick and choose your moments.
Nice.
So like since then, I've not really gone to the gym. I've gone like 3-4 times to do a bit of upper body and stuff, just because, like we were speaking earlier, gym's like kind of it's good for your mind and
Good
stuff.
for your mental,
It's
yeah,
like,
100%.
I wouldn't
You
ever
wouldn't recommend
tell
anyone to
just
not
don't-
exercise for 2
yeah,
weeks.
Yeah, exactly. Even if you've just come off a season,
Yeah.
like still do something.
But just get your rest, innit?
Just make it's not mad intense stuff. So yeah, like when it comes to training, it's just more of a I'll go gym here and there, but it's not like follow a routine, and none of it is intense at the minute.
And we know Lewis is straight to the beach, straight to Dubai.
We don't know that.
Are you or not?
Essentially.
Have you booked Dubai yet?
No. Listen, I don't have an off season anymore.
Every season is off.
It's all off season at the moment.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Have you got any are you thinking I need to go get some sun? I need to get
I'll
away?
probably go away. I think it's a good. I mean, you can't randomly in November decide to go away when you play football. Like most people can, have their annual leaves at certain times of the year and plan and stuff. Ours is all boxed in during this time, so I think you kind of have to.
I'm surprised you've not got nothing booked. I'm
a last minute kind of
yeah,
guy.
but I mean, if my last minute or even like all the players at Palace, it would all be like last minute would be like 2 weeks before the season ends, and they book it for that, so like 3 weeks in advance.
Oh, but if the manager gets wind of that, is he not like focus?
Manager's booked something already.
Really?
Manager wants to go just as much as
Is
the
the
players.
manager the same?
Yeah, once it gets to the end, there's, like I said, a couple of weeks left. As long as you're not, let's say you're mid-table,
Yeah.
they'll have their targets still and they'll keep it all professional. But like last day, the manager wants to get away as well.
I think the management's the same to an extent, but it's still.
It depends on the
mentally-
manager.
Yeah, but like their big thing's recruitment. So what I've clocked in this past 10 days is the managers don't stop. Like
Really?
as soon as the season's done, they're like on the phone to players.
yeah.
Like trying
Even
to-
abroad, they're on the phone.
yeah. So like.
As in, like next season, play for us.
Yeah, basically.
Oh, wow,
so like,
okay.
so that literally from a week before the season ends, and then as soon as the season ends, like
Wow.
a couple of days after, they're like active, trying to recruit. So yeah, they'll be wanting to get away. Like obviously they won't be at the training
Yeah.
ground, but
Yeah.
their minds are still a lot more than the players. I think the players
course,
can
the players
absolutely
can switch
until,
off. Makes
until
sense.
you need to start like training again. You're not thinking about
Yeah.
football. Like the only games I'm watching in a minute is Arsenal Champions League.
Yeah.
I'm not even
Yeah.
watching the Premier League at the minute. 'cause
It's a mental
just kind of
reset,
like,
innit? Yeah.
Like, don't need to see any football at the minute.
It's so funny, and I don't think it would ever like land for us football fans.
What? That
Like as soon as it's done, I'm not watching football.
Yeah, but you got to think back because
100%.
you don't want to be burnt out come middle of the season next year.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah.
And you've got to almost treat this as part of like your training, I suppose. As
Yeah.
in like have 2 weeks or however long at least away from thinking about
A
football.
mental switch off as well as
Yeah.
a physical one.
It's
Yeah.
important. And then when you come back, you kind of come back with you're fully ready to go again
More
for
fire,
the next
yeah.
year and stuff. Whereas if you spend the whole off season like training from day one,
Just thinking about football.
watching football,
Yeah.
like come
January, you'll be fucked.
you'll be
Yeah.
fucked. Like,
Yeah.
and then you don't want that. You need to have that fire the whole season. So
Yeah.
I think it's actually very important
Yeah.
for players
Come
to switch
like-
off.
Sorry, come like January, end of Jan, Feb. that's when my mind starts thinking about, like, let me get a holiday booked for the summer. Because that's when you see the end of the year.
You see the end of the year, definitely.
Yeah.
I think up until Christmas, no one's thinking about that.
No,
And
it's
then
not in your mind,
once the new year starts, the countdown's on, basically.
You know what's so funny? That's just like normal jobs. Do you know what I mean? If you work in an office, come January, like, I need to have a holiday in summer.
Yeah.
Just a job, innit?
Yeah.
Like, I know we talk about footballers and we say they should be like well upset now they've lost. It's their job.
Yeah. But
So
you
they
can
are-
book a holiday in December, for example.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Yeah.
Footballers off season, it's what, 2 months? Month and a half?
It depends on
what level
the
you
level,
play, isn't
yeah.
it? If you're playing for the top Prem clubs and you're in England international
And
or
the Champions
international,
League, yeah.
then you're probably getting a couple of weeks max.
Couple of weeks.
Right,
Max.
so
They're
take
getting-
us through, both of you, the time. Month and a half, 2 months. Go week by week. What's happening in your off season?
Yeah. So I'd probably stop around middle of May, end of May. If I was the 21s, like if I was in the 21s at Palace, we'd be mirroring whenever the first team finished. So if they got to the FA Cup final like they have, that would make us stay in longer.
Yep.
Even if we got no games.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
the boys at the moment will be fuming. And then first 2 weeks, 10 days, I'm sort of going away I'll get like definitely one holiday in. And that would be like sort of if I wanted to have a bit of a party, that would be the one.
Did you?
Sometime.
Naughty.
Yeah, but that would be the one. And then like I wouldn't necessarily think about doing any football or stuff like that. I might play sport, tennis or something like that, but I wouldn't think about doing anything. Then I'd have another sort of holiday.
Yep.
In the middle of the off season, 3-4 weeks where it'd be more chill. Dubai.
Of course.
I won't go party, but I'll start doing some training then.
Yeah.
Fitness work, and then
Dubai.
In Dubai and when I'm home.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the last couple of weeks will just be like sort of chilling at home with like training heavily on your mind to get fit then.
And you were like Crystal Palace through and through.
Yeah.
So was there any times where like other teams would start ringing you? Is there like a time in the off season? It's like, oh, it's been a month now. We're going to start ringing.
What for moves?
Yeah.
Mine was always like Christmas. People would ring or like January, so they'd ring before the off season. Because I think when you're a 21 mainly and you're not playing first team, it's more like loan based. So I had a few Sweden club and a couple Spanish clubs ring me, but they all rang me in like January just after Christmas.
Really?
Finished. Yeah.
Did you never fancy that?
I was injured. But one of them was almost over the line, but then I just didn't end up playing.
Yeah.
It was a Spanish team.
So I guess that's we're asking different questions, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yours wasn't another Premier League team ringing you and
Yeah,
saying.
but it would
summer.
be, you would get it like as soon as the window opens or just before the window, people would start ringing players. That's when you get it all.
Yeah.
And you can even not know where you're going, and then the next day you'd be at a new club.
Yeah.
That's how quick it can
Would
be.
it matter to you like when a club rang you? Because like we've just spoken about, as soon as the season's done, whatever's happened, you're a bit like, fuck football. So if they rang you at the start, are you like, do one? Whereas if they rang you 4 weeks later when you've had a holiday, are you more receptive to their chat?
I mean,
My agent would ring them, man.
yeah,
Good point.
that's the best way to do
You're
it.
not on the phone to them, are you?
Unless my agent
Yeah,
speaks to my
yeah.
agent. Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Ken, what does your off season look like week by week?
It would usually be, so our seasons finish like end of April usually.
Yeah.
That time pretty consistently. And then we wouldn't get back till right at the end of June / start of July. So we do have pretty much 2 months. So the first couple of weeks, I'm literally chilling, doing whatever.
Are you not bored? Because like,
You can't be bored if you've just spent like every day.
Oh, you wanna
going at
chill.
it. Like if I just like I've not done this much because obviously I've got like other stuff that I've got to keep up with. But
Yeah,
like, let's
true.
say I wake up and just do nothing for a day. I'm not and like watch TV or whatever. That wouldn't be boring to me because
Yeah.
it doesn't happen.
okay, yeah. I
It
do
would-
get, yeah.
And also, that's why you book holidays.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you will.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
I'm not doing that for
Yeah,
2
fair.
months. Definitely not.
Watching Netflix.
I'm just saying like the first like end of April,
Yeah.
first couple of weeks of May, it's kind of like a chill. And then usually when I'd go away, it would be sort of end of May, start of June.
Yeah.
It would vary whether it's like with my family or like friends individually, whatever. But so I've never had like a consistency, but I always try and get that out of the way so that when I come back, I've got 3-4 weeks to just basically prepare mentally and physically.
Yeah.
It's more mentally, physically as well, obviously. But if you aren't going off the rails physically, like you'll be all right.
Yeah.
You can get yourself back up. But yeah, that mental, like you don't want to be, I don't know, in IB for 1 week or 5 days before this, like pre-season.
Some do.
I know some people love it, but I don't think that
Wayne Lineker loves it.
Yeah, some
He
people
does.
love it, but I don't know if that would be the best approach. Like, because I feel like that'd be mad.
Don't you find it? Sorry, don't you find it mad that like these players, let's say like the top elite players, right?
Yeah.
These are the best in the world, like elite athletes, and the best in the world at football. From one day they could be with Pep, and then the next day they could be with Lineker.
Two legends of their game.
Yeah, two legends. That's in a 2-day period. Really,
Yeah.
changeover.
Yeah.
And Wayne Lineker's taking all these elite athletes and ruining them.
Yeah. Do you think there's ever been like a team talk at the end of the season where the manager goes, right, don't go too crazy, start training, and also careful of Wayne?
Careful of
Do you
Wayne.
think he's
Yeah.
been mentioned in any?
He definitely gets mentioned, but not in a serious way.
Yeah. And then when we're talking about holidays,
Yeah.
if you're going on holiday with some of your teammates,
Yes.
when you start talking about that, I bet that's early on.
Yeah, that's Jan. Jan
If it's
Feb.
teammates, it'd be
Yeah.
pretty early.
I normally go away at least one holiday with the close players for my team. Yeah.
Do you think that's a good thing?
Yeah, because a lot of the other boys are working. They might pick their holidays different time.
Yeah.
And also when I was younger, they were at school.
Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, that
So
makes sense.
Yeah. So
Have you ever been on holiday with Wayne Lineker?
not with him.
Would you like to?
No.
In like lower leagues, there's a lot of like chopping and changing of the team. So is it not really a thing that teammates go away together then?
I think, yes, there's a lot more changing and stuff. So you would have sort of made your close friends in football at a specific club.
Yes, good
and then
point.
Even if you move on, they're still like your
Yeah,
close friends.
that makes sense.
So not necessarily like at a team where you spent a season with, you're not necessarily like going on holiday with those players.
Yep.
But you would have pals that you've
Nice.
shared a change room a couple seasons ago, and you'd reach out to them.
Is that what you're gonna do?
Yeah.
Shout out the
Why'd you
boys.
say that? Like, is that what you
I was just interested. That was like off the pod. That was just an
Yeah.
interesting question. What's the dumbest off-season stereotype that might be true?
Off season?
What are the stereotypes?
What are the stereotypes?
Like Wayne Lineker.
I suppose.
Like straight to Wayne.
Yeah,
Or
straight
is
to.
it
That's true.
The stereotype for me is you finish on the Saturday, Sunday you're getting fucked up.
That probably happens.
Yeah, that does happen.
Really?
For the players that are on that.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I've done that.
You're a bad boy.
It's just like you've just 10
I
months
hear
of
it.
just like building up, and it's like now we've got no rules, no restrictions. It's just gonna go to the the best club manager in the world, Wayne Lineker. You're gonna go there.
He is best club manager. Do you speak to your manager at all during off season? Does he mess you like, how's it going?
I had messages off him like, how's your fitness going? Because I was coming back from injury.
Yes.
But you would get ones like that, like how's your fitness going
Would
and
you,
stuff
Ken?
like that.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. The context would depend, but like, yeah, he's got to, at some point.
Are you like
say
turning
it's-
that over straight away? Like, I'll answer him later. I'm currently at Ocean Beach with Wayne Lineker.
Nah, he would like keep tabs on you, see
Yeah.
how you're doing. Are you doing all right? Like sometimes I had a manager that used to give us like an off-season program and would be like checking to see
Would
if
you do it?
guys are doing that. I mean, I'd do it, but I didn't like the checking. 'cause I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah. I'm an adult.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it feels like you're at school.
Well,
Like,
time off, yeah.
yeah, this is
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah, basically, like
Yeah.
you're like it's in your own interest as a player.
Yes, yeah.
To do it because
And
otherwise
I think
you're
that's
gonna
what people
struggle.
don't realise. Like, we, as fans, see everyone going Ibiza and go mental. But
Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish. It's only their fault if they don't train, which is why I think you see, like, we saw Declan Rice training with, like, Bruno Fernandes and
Yeah,
Rafael
you start
Leao
seeing
all
on
of
that,
holiday.
yeah,
Because
they-
this is a crazy job, but you have to keep up with it, don't you?
Yeah, of course. They're not going to be doing that the week before they're going back into pre-season.
Yeah.
They'll probably literally have a week where if they wanted to, they'll not train at all and go
mad.
and have a few drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
But after that, it's like they've got to go back and perform at the top level.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. That's what I think we don't.
Like it's
Really
one of
think
the
that.
jobs where you're constantly judged anyways. Like
Yeah.
it's not like you can sign your contract and chill
Yeah.
because you'll be reminded of the fact that you're falling off. So
Yeah.
even if you have a mad summer or whatever, it'll be in the back of your mind that you've got to start getting yourself ready to go back and perform. Like you can't just.
Which you don't have in normal jobs, do you? Like a librarian isn't going, I've got to keep up with the latest books.
You just have as much fun as you can.
Otherwise, that new librarian's going to get me.
Yeah, that 18-year-old librarian, she's coming up.
She's been bought for big money. No, but
exactly.
It's also into like today's game with the way it's gone with looking after yourself.
Yeah.
A lot of the players aren't into going out and doing. They just prefer to look after their body 24/7.
Yeah.
And that's how they've really got to where they got to. You get the odd ones like, Grealish or people who want to go out a lot more than the others, but you just don't see it as much anyway.
But even that, then
he still goes out a lot less than the average person.
that's what I was gonna say. He's still looking out like he's not probably putting on any weight. You see videos of him running in like Mykonos or like Ibiza, like during his holiday, by the way.
Yes,
like maybe
you do.
a day after,
of
and he looks just as shredded as he always does. So it's like he'll have his fun that night or whatever, but it's not. I'm going 2 weeks now and I'm going to put on loads of weight.
But some players can get away with that. Like some players just don't put on weight.
Yeah,
for sure.
Whereas I know some that do put on weight.
Are hangovers worse or better the fitter you are? Like
I think they're worse. They're worse.
think?
Really?
Yeah. Like because I think
like fat to absorb it.
I think the leaner you are and the less shit you put in your body, whether it's food, alcohol.
When you do put shit in your body.
When you do put it in,
you build a tolerance. Like
hits you like a ton of bricks, man.
Did you feel rough after the Burger King?
That's
feel all right.
That's no hangover. One
Sometimes
burger.
you do after a McDonald's. You feel rough.
Yeah.
Right.
I enjoyed that.
2 players
Yeah.
in the off season: a grinder and a ghoster.
Yeah.
Honestly, what were you?
What's the ghoster?
Like just not really training, just
Someone who's just partying too much, I suppose. Yeah. I was definitely. I worked hard.
Yeah.
Definitely, but I also like to enjoy the first couple of weeks of my holiday. But I was someone, if I did go and enjoy it, like I remember going away to Spain in Javier with a few of the football lads, and like we'd have a few drinks. But then the next day we'd be up early running gym. So it's
really,
not like,
all of you, or is there one that's like, fuck that, I ain't training this whole day? You don't have to name names.
Yeah, there was one who didn't like doing it.
Yeah,
who could be coming on the pod shortly. Goalkeeper. His name's Ollie Webber.
He's got a lot of chat on this pod, doesn't he?
He won't care me.
We'll ask him about that.
Yeah.
Is it like a thing? This might sound a bit like cringe, but are you like, right, come on, lads, let's get up, let's go for a run? Or does everyone just want to do it?
Yeah, we still want to try and improve as a player.
Yeah.
You're still trying to push yourself and you're with your teammates. So, of course, there's competitive edge. You go for a long run, you try and beat each other.
Especially at that stage, you lot were trying to get in the first.
That's very true.
That holiday, we were 19, I think.
You're definitely like know what you're coming back. You're coming back to pre-season. You know what that's a big pre-season for you.
And pre-season, and like as long as you're not the bottom half of the team, you'll come back pre-season and do it with the first team. So so you're going to be with the
that's what it is, and that's an opportunity.
Higher physical players,
Yeah, so you're not going to go on holiday and think, even though no one wants to get up and run, you know you have to.
Yeah,
like, it's not really a question.
Yeah,
and apart from the goalkeeper.
No, he did, but he just he sacked himself a bit early. One of them.
They've kind of got a little bit more leeway to not have them.
Yeah.
We'll ask him.
Yeah.
We'll ask him. Is there been any like mad transformations that you've seen from people that have like come back looking like a different person, either bad or good?
Yeah,
because it could be an opportunity to like if you're
I've seen both,
a bit
for sure.
I've seen both, yeah,
bulkier, not in a bad way, and then come back like lean as fuck.
I'll tell you what, I see two ways. I see one where players come back with a bit of Derby.
Yeah,
and
standard.
It's generally keepers, and there was one keeper in mind, not a different player.
Ollie Webber?
No, different player, but he'd come back and then he'd be straight in Fat Club.
We've heard about Fat Club.
Where like you just go in the mornings during the pre-season and potentially the start of the season and do like half hour, 40 minutes on the bike or rower.
Yeah.
Until you're in the body fat percentage they want you in.
How long does that take if you come back?
Depends how I don't know. It can take.
How fat you are.
Yeah, how fat you are. But you wouldn't be in there for more than like 3-4 weeks.
Okay, fine.
But then the other one I see is players come back bulkier, but upper body bulkier, because they start hitting the summer body weights. And they're barely training legs. Whereas in the season, you don't train upper body too much.
Yeah, okay.
You're probably quite skinny upper
body. They've just benched and bicep curled.
Yeah, and they come back and like, where the fuck have you been?
Fair play.
Yeah.
Been down the local gym.
Yeah.
And does it bother you if someone comes back from pre-season like a bit chunkier? Are you like, come on, dickhead? Or do you not care?
I didn't care because of the situation I was in, whereas I'm almost competing against them. So I'm thinking, right, that's another one out of the way. Whereas if I'm an Arsenal first team player and I'm thinking we're going for a league this season, then I'm going to be like, what are you doing? You're going to let us down here,
Yeah.
chubby bastard.
Yeah. Do you get a lot of that kind of lower down the leagues of people coming back a bit more of a unit? Or can people operate in the National League maybe with a bit of a derby?
Troy Deeney.
Troy Deeney?
He had a bit of a derby, didn't he?
Yeah, what a
Not a
baller.
derby, he was just built.
Yeah,
What a player,
cool.
what a guy.
Do players come back? No, look, the National League North and South, it's got to a point now where you have to be.
It's a level.
Yeah, you have to be like fit to play.
Yeah.
Like you can't. So you're not seeing players play. There's only one player I know but he's an absolute joke. And if he actually took it seriously, he'd be playing a lot higher.
I think that's the biggest misconception. Like, if you think national, and this is no disrespect, but I think off the top of your head, you go National Leagues people, they'll go, oh yeah, no, you can have, you can be a bit fat and you can be quite unfit. You're saying
can't, mate.
no,
You can't.
You can't even do that in like step 4 or 5 these days.
Yeah.
Like you can't be fat. No way.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be shown. Like you can still play, but it's going to be shown in the games.
And like you always saying, it always like reminds me that it's your livelihood, it's your job.
Yeah.
So if you come back fat, you're only doing yourself.
Yeah.
Like your team will get someone else in.
But
If you
basically,
are, with
yeah.
no issue.
Yeah. It's like an accountant just coming back and if this could be possible, like coming back and forgetting maths. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's almost like that.
yeah.
Like, why would you do that to yourself?
Your stuff, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your job is maths.
Yeah. That's a bit different, but yeah, I get it.
But it's that I tried it.
Yeah. Maths.
I tried.
Right. I want stories now.
Okay.
Craziest thing you've seen or done during the off season?
I've not done too many crazy things.
Okay.
I'm a sensible guy. But
Lies.
no, but the one thing that was quite, I suppose, decent was when I was in Napa, I was with all my schoolmates. I was probably like 19, 20, 19. And there's a group called the Manor who are big in. They're fairly big, but they're very well known in Beckenham, and 2 of them are massive Palace fans.
Okay.
And then we were at some pool party, and they were on stage, and they brought me up on stage for basically their biggest song,
Celeb.
and I was having it off.
Did you know the words?
I did, yeah.
Did you get past the mic?
No.
Yeah.
No, I was just steaming into their drink.
That is good.
But it was a big crowd, to be fair.
But for the rest of the holiday, you felt like Billy Big Bollocks.
It was the last full day. So, good ending.
What a way to sign off.
Yeah, good ending.
Ken, been on stage with any bands?
Nah, man. I'm pretty
It's
chill.
not bad.
Yeah.
Have you ever come back from a holiday and thought, I'm in a pickle here?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, definitely.
When?
Couple times.
A pickle in terms of like, I'm still battered or I'm overweight, I'm not fit?
No, I've never. Thing is, I can with fitness, I can get that back so quick. I've never really like. Even now, I reckon you give me 3 weeks, I'll be able to play in like a full training session.
Jealous.
Not like obviously you're not going to be your fully fit self, but I'm just naturally quite fit.
Yeah.
So it never takes me too
I
long.
ran 300 metres this morning. I thought I was going to die.
I mean, I wouldn't be far off right now. But, no, but I've like when you just feel like right, that's been a heavy one.
Yeah.
Now let's never touch another drop of alcohol again.
Until next pre-season,
Yeah,
off-season.
exactly. Yeah.
Ken?
Yeah.
Nah, to be fair, like, you obviously come back and you're like, there's work to do.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't feel anywhere near what I felt.
But you never felt.
But
beyond the
like
point
that
of
happens
return.
whether you've gone on holiday or whether you've just had a break for.
Just because you've not been playing 90s.
Yeah, like the first
that makes
time
sense.
you do a training session, you are bloating naturally, but it should. I mean, if you've not done anything ridiculous, it should be within a reason where you're like, okay, I'm fit now, but I've got a couple of weeks, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation where I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like come pre-season, I'm going to be so cooked. I don't know what I'd have to do for that to happen.
If you've only ever listened to Ken, you've not seen him, he could probably eat Burger King for a year and would still look fitter than me. That's what we're talking. So I don't think you've ever got the point of no return.
Yeah.
Without like naming names, has there been any like shocking pre-season returns? Have you got back and thought, what have you done?
Yeah. For big first team Premier League profile players, I thought that.
Really?
Yeah. Swear to God.
But it's only a month. Do you know what I mean? A month and a half. So.
But it's just like a massive binge for those people because they've had to stay so strict.
I guess that's at the top level as well.
Yeah, if that's not their natural like.
It's really not bad as well because you got to think. Let's say you're going to be disciplined for 11 months.
Yeah.
I feel like the way to come back and be like, okay, I'm ready to go and be disciplined is almost as if you've just let loose completely for that
Yeah,
month or whatever. And let's say you get to January, February, and you know that for whatever reason people are going out, whatever, and you're getting temptations. You know that the off season's around the corner, and you kind of just make up for everything you missed out on. So, like, obviously, you don't want to be coming back to the point where everyone can literally see you and say that's mad, but.
Does it happen a lot?
But the tricky thing with football is, though,
It'll always be the same type of person, though. It wouldn't be like, it wouldn't. You could guess who it would be.
Yeah. The tricky thing with football is, like, you almost, because it's such a long period, 10 months of the season, you have to be sort of at your peak. Yeah. You can't go be 100% at your peak, obviously, because you'd have to peak almost like a boxer just for one moment. So you have to stay at like 80%, let's say, of what you'll be your one day peak. So when you come to the off season, if you do have a big binge, it does affect you a bit more, I think, because you've not been at your... Like, boxers can get away with it because they can go to one moment, have a big binge, and then they have time to peak back just for one moment.
Yes.
If they had to maintain the whole year, they couldn't do this binge cycle.
Yeah.
So it does... You can always tell pre-season tests when you do the runs who's not put the work in, basically. And sometimes I've had players where they've come back fitter than they ended the season, a lot fitter, and it's made a big impact.
Funny, isn't it?
Yeah. Because they've just, like, if you take a pre-season, especially when you're a young up and coming footballer, to really work on one aspect of your game, whether it's fitness or like strength or something like that, you can skip ahead of the pack. I really believe that.
Yeah, it's the best way as a young player if you want to sort of get ahead.
Because you can't do it during the season.
No, you can't, because there's games around the corner and stuff. You have to be careful. But if you go off season and train, get yourself fit, you come back, you stand out, because everyone else, you got a mixture of people that didn't do anything, or some people that did stuff. But if you come out the fittest, I mean, the tests will show very quickly. And I mean, you'll be flying in training and stuff, and opinions are made very quickly in football. If you start if you start pre-season well, depending on what your situation, you'll have a chance for sure.
Yeah. You know what I've just thought?
What?
The off season is basically like my weekend.
Yeah.
Right? If I binge at the weekend,
Yeah.
food and drink, Monday, Tuesday, my workouts are shit.
Yeah.
By Thursday, Friday, they're all right.
Yeah.
If I don't binge at the weekend and I train, Monday, Tuesday, I feel great.
Yeah.
That's got no relevance. I'm sort of
That is everyone.
isn't it?
Everyone goes
on a
through
big
that cycle who goes out on the
Yeah.
weekends every week, but footballers just do it once
By months.
in the whole year.
Yeah. That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Right, we've talked about physical prep, talked a little about mental, but I want to get into it a bit more. Can the off season mess with your head? Like, can you come back like, football is not it?
Yeah, 100%.
Really?
I've had people
100%.
just decide like I can't do this. I'm not. This is not for
Really?
me. Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
That is mad.
Yeah, because you're just like, it's almost like once you stop doing a certain thing that you've done that was hard to maintain, once you drop off it, it's like it's so hard to get back in the routine.
Focus is gone, your discipline's gone.
I reckon, like in the Premier League and stuff, it can't really happen just because you earn so much
Yeah.
that you know, like, well, you can't,
Yeah,
you can't do anything else anyway.
You're not gonna have that time off, yeah.
you need to come back and earn that money basically. Whereas I think lower down, you
Have
probably
you seen
get
people
to a
just like
point.
sack it?
I've had someone walk in Crystal Palace under 21, walk in back off pre-season the first day and said, "I've not touched the ball or seen a gym in the last 6 weeks."
Really?
So that shows to
Head's
me
gone.
Head's gone, and he's like just not. His heart's not in it.
Yeah.
You see.
Yeah.
So it can change.
Yeah,
Does it happen more? Do you think it happens more like National League level?
just
People
because
have lives then, don't they? Still have to work and stuff. They might not be going to Dubai for 3 weeks.
Yeah. But I just think it's also like when you come back, obviously you know what sacrifices you're about to put in, and you know it's going to be another 10, 11 months of work. I can see why someone would be like, nah, like let me just do something normal where I can live that life a bit more, like every 3 months rather than once a year.
Yeah.
Or like if for whatever random reason I wanted to go out this weekend, I could just go out.
Yeah.
Like it's literally that, isn't it? Like as a footballer,
It's like, imagine talking about a night out for a normal person, but you've been building up for 4 months. At least, and then you've not had one for the previous 5 months either.
I'd go feral.
Yeah.
I think it makes it better though.
That's what I mean. It's
I
just
think it
like,
makes
it's
it
true.
sick.
I'm just sitting there all day thinking, I fucking needed this.
Yeah. Whereas I feel like
fucking
if you
needed
go
this.
out weekly or every 2 weeks, they can't hit the same every time.
No
Like,
way.
Yeah,
it's
that
kind
is-
of
that
like,
is
this
true,
this
yeah.
what
Same
we
with
do.
everything in life.
Yeah.
It's such a good feeling, man. I can't lie.
You want to go out now, don't you?
I might have to go on holiday, man.
Before getting booked.
No, I just went
instantly.
like a holiday, just like chilling
Yeah.
after that long season.
You want to go spoons now
Yeah.
and just piss up.
Yeah, unless you're injured, you might have to go in the off season.
That's
not good.
You've probably done it a bit.
I've done it loads. Yeah.
No, Dubai.
I'd go on holiday still, but I just any time I'm in England, I'd be in.
See, that's then you don't really
And then
have an off season.
I have a structured program I have to do on holiday as well.
That is long. I think that's a good question, right? Structure, routine. Do you feel like lost without it? Because again, I think sometimes, like in my line of work, I don't really have a structure. So sometimes I'm like, all right, 10 minutes more in bed. Yeah. Right, 10 minutes more. Then it turns to an hour, and you're like, I can't be asked to go gym now. I haven't had breakfast till 12. Do you know what I mean? It gets a bit, you get a bit like, oh shit, and then you feel like rough for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Does that happen in the off season?
I think it can.
Because I think you still train. You're like, I'm going to go for a run now, but that's not a structure.
If I'm on holiday, I don't feel that. I don't like the because I'm still. The thing is, I'll still go gym most days. I'm not going to lie during the off season. Whether it's just like a fuck about gym session,
just part of your life.
Yeah, like I'll have a few days where I don't, but I prefer going. So I always have that structure.
Yeah.
On holiday, you go in there to chill, and at home, I don't really feel lost without when I'm in off season.
And you're probably pretty good at having a routine and structure. But again, I imagine there's a lot of people that don't.
Yeah, a lot of people won't, but because it's such a short period of time, it's not the end of the world, I guess. It's like as long as you get that run
6
done,
weeks,
or get the gym session done.
Not even 6 weeks, really.
Yeah.
It's like 2.
Yeah.
So like, but I think people probably allow themselves to not have structure for like a couple of weeks, basically.
Maybe not a bad thing.
I don't think it is a bad thing.
Yeah.
What's been your like rock bottom of off-season mode? And we're talking like sitting in your pants in the dark eating Dominoes. Have you ever had a moment of like
where you're
I'm
just
in the
like
pits
where like 2 weeks ago you were some elite athlete? And
now I've had 2 litres of chocolate milk. Do you know what I mean?
No, I've never had that. But again, probably the worst I felt is after coming back from a holiday. Most likely when I went Marbella, that was a heavy one.
Is there a bit of you that's like, why have I done that?
No, because I wanted to do
it. You two are athletes, so you can get it back.
Yeah, I wanted to do it. And I had 5 weeks until pre-season started. Like, so easy to get back. I had 1 week off.
Easy for
Kill
you.
me.
Easy for you.
What
Easy for us normal people. Bro, if I have like McDonald's Friday night, Domino's Saturday night, full English Sunday, Monday I'm like crying when I wake up. Like I've got to eat kale for the rest of the week.
Kale.
You must have had a moment when you've done like 2 pizzas and you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, no, not 2 pizzas. It would be like a week of like eating nothing. Then you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, okay, like. Yeah, okay. I've fallen off here.
I just don't like like bro's had 2 chips and he's like, I shouldn't have done that.
5k run now.
Yeah.
No, but like in the off seasons, the only time where that will happen, you might look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, I've fallen off, but it's why you've fallen off. Like you've allowed yourself to. It's not.
Sometimes it's nice to see a different image.
No, I'll tell you it's not.
I don't think.
But every now and then it is.
Yeah, that is true.
But then you're just like, okay, I've got to get back now, isn't it? Like. And you
lock
will.
in again. Yeah. I mean, you couldn't go for a football pre-season without being in shape. I don't think. Without coming out being in shape after it.
Do you have like a moment of like reset? Like you do, Ken. You do like 2 weeks now of like light training. Do you have a day where you're like, right, it's just back to football now?
Pre-season. The first day of pre-season.
Really? Yeah.
I think off-season, even if you're training, you still have to like.
You're still not mentally in it.
I assume you're like. I assume every manager and club kind of expects you to. That's why you have pre-season, I guess. Because they expect you to come back not as sharp.
You won't.
They still expect you to come. You have to almost do a mini pre-season in the off-season.
Yeah, I get you.
You just don't have to think about competing. You have to think about being fit and getting your body in the right place.
Yeah.
Then come the actual pre-season.
You basically want to come back to pre-season in a place where you're not so unfit that the pre-season will kill you or injure you.
Yeah.
You want to,
or you can't get through it.
Basically, you want to be in a position where the pre-season is there for a reason. So you don't have to peak.
Yeah, I get
but you have to be in a position where you can carry out the pre-season, and it's like, okay, it's hard work, but I'm alive, no injuries. That's the main thing. If you don't do nothing and you come back and start doing box-to-box sprints,
you're fucked.
Your hammies will feel it.
What's pissed me off about this episode, right, is that I thought I'd come in and it's actually wound me up. I thought I'd come in like, you'd be like, yeah, pre-season I'll just go mental. Off-season I'll go mental. You two just athletes and it's annoyed me a bit.
No, I do go mental.
No, but then, I'll get it back in 2 weeks.
No, but he's thinking, you wanted to hear from day one to the end, mental.
So I'm going Pizza Hut all you can eat buffet, and I'm not leaving until closing.
Yeah, but for me, my
That's
mental,
me.
when I say think mental, I don't just think food.
Yeah.
I think like
Some of us do.
I think more like just going out, man, having a
Yeah.
good time on holiday, specifically in the sun.
Holiday is your
Yeah,
thing, isn't it?
yeah. Because you've just not been away for so long.
Yeah, but you've played football every day. That's holiday.
Not in the winter.
We're not
mate.
going to agree on
No,
this.
not in the
Right.
winter.
What I
but
mean,
To be
football
fair,
every day,
you
it's
might
not
be
holiday.
proud of me here.
Oh, go
in a
on.
bad way.
Come on.
Is when I went
How many
Napa,
calories did you eat?
when I went Iron Napa,
Yeah.
it was actually like second last week of pre-season,
Off season.
of off-season, sorry.
Wow. Piece of shit.
And then what? You came back.
Then the week after, and
Oh, that was fine.
then it was pre-season, but I was injured.
Ah,
I knew there was a butt coming in
yeah,
somewhere.
this is bullshit.
But I still like. I went on a holiday somewhere. I went on a holiday to Spain, which wasn't a chilled one.
Yeah.
Then I went to Dubai, which was half chilled, and then I went to Iron Napa with the school lads as well. You know that weren't chilled.
Well, fucking congrats, mate.
Well, I thought you'd be happy that I wasn't living like an athlete.
Yeah, but now you go, yeah, but I'll get it back in 2 weeks. I literally went on the treadmill the first time in ages morning. I thought I was going to die and I
Today?
hate myself, yeah.
Nice, good work.
Haven't you even played football?
Don't play football anymore, mate.
Oh,
That's
is it?
why. That's the issue, innit?
Oh.
That's
yeah.
what we're talking.
Yeah,
Stop
you have
playing
to- you
football
have
when
to
you're
play
done.
football.
Yeah,
I know,
That's
sign
the
me.
best way to stay fit.
See if St Albans needed low mobility centre midfielder.
There might
Low
be in-
mobility
in
one,
the
yeah.
Because I'm that moving.
that's on the traits that someone picks. Yeah, it's not
We need
really. It's
someone
got
who
too much.
doesn't
It's too
run much.
mobile for us. That one.
Right. One thing to kind of shut this down,
Yeah.
okay, because you've annoyed me.
Okay.
If you could give one golden rule for the off-season to a young footballer, what would it be? And I'm not taking, just keep training.
The thing is, young football is different. Like, are we saying so up and like? Up
So
and
yeah,
coming?
it does change.
Something like an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
'Cause if we're talking a 25-year-old, I'm saying enjoy it.
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
If I'm saying an 18-year-old who's maybe on the cusp of the first team
Of a top club.
team, I'm saying take this seriously. Like,
Yeah.
this is a chance to get ahead and come back.
Yeah, you have
And
to.
show-
I'd still say have a week to 10 days where you let your body recover and you switch off mentally,
Yeah.
but then take advantage
What age does that change then?
when you're in the first team somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
It like when
Okay.
you're an established pro and you think like, let's say like you said 25 to 25 plus, like, and you're not really, you're sort of a mid-table team or whatever league.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose you still want to make the most, but you have to enjoy it, of course. You can't just spend your whole life not doing it.
And I think the principles remain the same, because even if you're 24, 25 and you're trying to go up and whatever, you still you could still
Yeah.
get fit and come back and whatever. But I think by that point, you've had years in the game.
Yeah.
And it's more mental than anything when you start getting to your mid-20s and late 20s and
Mm-hmm.
beyond. Whereas at 18, you've been full-time for 2 years or a year and a half, whatever it is. Like, I feel like your energy and your mindset is still very fresh. Your enthusiasm is still very fresh.
Yeah,
Like, if
yeah.
it's gone at that point, then you got kind of
game
another
over.
problem.
Yeah.
I remember 18, 19, obviously I did like have breaks and stuff at the end of the season, but I didn't have to. Like, mentally,
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
ready
yeah,
to
yeah.
just
Yeah,
keep
cool.
training
Desperate
and whatever.
to
It's-
play,
yeah,
yeah.
you're hungry. Like,
I get that.
you've got a point to prove. So take advantage of that at that age, I'd say.
And also, you've only got the years that you don't play first team football to build up your full strength, really, full
Yeah.
strength and power properly, and your fitness. I think you can obviously do that when you're older as well, but
Yeah.
you don't have to worry about playing matches and being sore in matches,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So you're able to really go heavy in the gym once you get
Go-
to sort of 21 and in the first team.
Starts hurting.
Yeah, and also they want you. You're not going to do that as much because you have to be fresh in the
You're just
games where you've got to
preparing
perform.
for matches, yeah.
So you got to sort of build your body until you get into the first team as much as you can.
Beautiful. What an ep. So,
Wait,
What's
last thing.
ahead?
What would you say the footballers' pre-season starter pack? What's in it? 4 things.
you're going to say Dubai.
I was going to say Ibiza.
Off season.
Yeah, off-season starter pack.
Wayne Lineker.
Wayne Lineker's in there. Okay, partnered
Yeah.
with O Beach.
Wayne Lineker. Couch to 5K.
Sorry.
Couch,
Couch to 5K. No, Wayne Lineker's in there.
You're doing 4 things.
Bottle of Ciroc.
Bottle of Ciroc. Yeah, bottle of Ciroc.
Wayne Lineker.
Dior sliders.
You got one more.
Uh,
You're just going against everything you've said this whole episode.
Probably got to put a girl in.
and then
haven't you?
and then you go like
Yeah.
Mykonos training camp.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
That's good. You got
They're
to
the
have,
four.
have that.
So,
There you go.
it was Wayne Lineker,
Wayne Lineker with Ocean Beach.
bottle of Ciroc, certain flavour, like pineapple Ciroc.
I've never bought a bottle of Ciroc.
Oh, fucking, what a fucking way to end.
But I recommend
It's not,
it.
it's not pineapple. No, we go like raspberry.
Okay.
Dior sliders. Then a Mykonos training camp.
Yeah.
Or Dubai. Pick your,
Wherever you are,
Yeah.
the training camp there.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Lovely.
Sorted. Hope this episode has made you feel as shit as I have. Everyone.